Hey folks, Stephanie here with Space of Love. When we talk about self-love, how often do we include our wrists? Let's be real, when we're practicing yoga, movement, we spend a lot of time on the hands. These little tiny miraculous joints are bearing a lot of body weight load. Or maybe you spend most of your day on a computer. Also a ton of strain, especially in the carpals. So we're going to give a little self-love, resiliency practice to our wrists today. So to start, we're going to come on a hands and knees position. You might want a mat or a cushion underneath the knees. Give yourself the support you need. And from here, we're going to start with hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, spreading the fingertips wide. Curl the toes under. And from here, we're simply going to maintain a neutral spine as we rock forward and back, forward and back. And we're doing this to feel out the range of motion in the wrists. We're bearing a little extra body weight load in the end range of motion. See if you can maintain a neutral spine. Try not to dump, strong through the core. And continue to move forward, back, and just feeling out the possibilities here. Okay, second. We're now going to take the hands and turn them out to the sides so that your thumbs are facing forward, the fingertips are facing away from you. Hands are still relatively under the shoulders. And from here, we're going to move the whole body to one side, so hips and shoulders leaning in, and then the whole body to the other side. So side to side, again, we're exploring bearing load in a perhaps different range of motion in the wrists. Building resiliency in the joints of the wrists. Building strength and adaptive qualities. Try one more each side. Good. And now this is the one that gets really juicy. We're now going to take our hands, turn our forearms forward, and bring our hands all the way to the ground. So maybe if this feels a little tense, you might walk your hands closer to your knees. So there's not such a distance to travel. The further away, the more challenging it is. And so from here, thumbs facing out, and you might be somewhere in between. Maybe your fingers are a little rotated out, but try to get the fingertips pointing towards your knees. And again, with a strong and stable core and spine, we're going to explore a little front to back motion. See if you can keep the arms relatively straight. And if you find you're making all sorts of funny faces during this, see if you can bring the suggestion of a smile to the corner of your lips. See what that does for the mind process of this movement. Also, stay connected to your breathing. Try not to hold the breath or tense up unnecessarily. And then the next time you come back, we're going to pause there, whatever your range of motion. Maybe you're here, maybe you're here. But wherever you are, you're going to start to lift the thumbs and the palm or the heel of the hand up. So as you do this, you might draw circles with your thumbs. Both directions. See if you can keep the knuckles, the base of the fingers down as you lift the heel of the palm up. So a big stretch here for the wrist, for the hands, for the fingers. And now we're going to start to sit back a little more, bend the elbows as much as you can. And for the count of 10, we're going to peel the hands up slowly until the fingertips finally make it. So for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, Bring your forearms together, interlace your fingers, and let's rotate around the wrist, keeping forearms and hands together. Get really juicy into those joints. Go both directions. Good. From here, we're going to do a little bit of activation now in the hands and through the wrist and the forearm. So energetically flicking like there's something really icky that you just want to get off your hands. So it's energetically as you can flicking, bringing a little bit of activity, a little bit of explosive strength back into the hands. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give everything a good shake. Okay, a few more. From here, you're going to take your hand and bring the back of the hand down in front of you. So, fingertips facing in towards the midline, thumb facing forward. And then, just one hand, let's start with our right. We're going to bring the thumb in and then wrap your fingers around the thumb. And it's sort of like you have a little bit of a monkey fist happening here. From there, take your opposite hand and close that fist. Apply just enough pressure. Don't go to a place of sharp pain, but if it feels tense, we can explore it. And so from here, you might start to lean a little bit of body weight into the hand, and you might start to rotate gently at the pivot point of the wrist, the back of the wrist on the mat. So drawing little circles, applying as much body weight as feels appropriate. If this is new, go easy. And then take that circling in the opposite direction. And coming back to center. Slowly let the hand unfurl, give it a little wiggle, and then we're going to take it to the other side. Left hand, back of the hand down, fingertips wide, wrist or back of the wrist is on the mat. Arm is relatively straight as much as possible. Bring the thumb in and then wrap the fingers around. You have this funky monkey fist, and then take the opposite hand, close the fist as much as it feels appropriate. Try not to bend into the elbow. We really want to keep a straight arm here and get into the joint of the wrist. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you start to draw little circles, gently moving the body, gently applying body weight. And then take it in the other direction. Good. And then release. Uncurl. Let's interlace the hands. Reach both palms of the hands forward as much as you can, and then reach up and up and up. Let your shoulders elevate any amount. Keep reaching. Let's take 3 deep breaths here. And slowly reach forward. Uninterlace the hands and give them one last shake. Last but not least, we're going to build a little strength here into the wrist, into the forearm. And these are called wrist lift-offs, or I like to call them like wrist push-ups. And so from here, again, in a tabletop position, and if this is challenging, you might walk the knees a little closer. So there's less space, meaning less body weight load for the wrists to bear. From here, we're going to start one wrist at a time. See if you can lift the heel of the palm up and keep the knuckles of the hands down. So your knuckles and fingers stay grounded, heel of the palm lifts. Notice I'm not trying to lift up. Everything stays stable in the shoulders, the trunk. It's just a lift of the heel of the palm, and then we slowly lower for 3, 2, and 1. And then it's a lift for 3, 2, and 1. We can try this, if it feels right for you, with both hands. And again, you can walk the knees back or walk the knees forward for as much as you want to challenge yourself. The closer the knees are to the hands, the less the challenge. So from here, we're going to try both hands at the same time. Let's see. Lift up and then slowly lower. 3, 2, and 1. Lift up and lower. 3, 2, and 1. Lift up and lower. 3, 2, and 1. If that was challenging for you, try one hand at a time and keeping your hands close to your knees. If that was easy for you, you can walk the feet or the knees back into a sort of kneeling plank. You can even try it from a plank position if you want to challenge yourself. So that's about it for the wrists for now. But if you can do that simple sequence every single day, especially if you're spending lots of time on a computer, especially if you're spending lots of time on your hands in a yoga or movement practice, do me a favor and give your wrists some love. Thank you for practicing, and welcome to Space of Love.